Good evening, groovy citizens, and happy Motivational Monday. So listen, I hope you all have had a wonderful day. I know I have. As usual, my days are busy, but they're always productive and they're always wonderful. You know why? Because I wake up every morning and I tell myself, today is going to be a great day no matter what. I'm telling you, start saying that and it really will be a great day. So let's jump right on into today's topic, because this is the girl is hungry, and I don't judge me because I don't judge you, but I'm going to Taco Bell. Yes, I already know what you're saying. I know what you're thinking, but Michelle, you know what Taco Bell does to the stomach. I do know that. However, and because I have a taste for a Dorito taco, so that's what I'm going to get. Okay, love you all, mean it. Now today's topic is how to deal with rejection. How to deal with rejection. And as I thought about this, I thought about the word denial, I'm sorry. And specifically, it made me think about Peter. You all remember the story how Peter denied Christ 3 times? 3 times he denied knowing Christ. Excuse me. And so that's what made me think about this. So when I hear the word rejection, I automatically think about Peter. And as you will recall, Peter denied Jesus 3 times. When asked, Peter denied knowing Christ, but why? And we see that he did it for 2 reasons: weakness and fear. So if you go to, and if you go to Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, it talks about it. And so Matthew 26:69 through 74, Mark 14:66 through 72, Luke 22:55 through 62, and then John 18:15 through 18. And also in the book of John, 25 through 27. So that was John 18:15 through 18, and then 25 through 27. And of course, I have all of those in the description box, but make sure you read those. And so here's what we know. So God used Peter's many failures, including his 3 denials of Christ, to turn him from Simon, a common man with a common name, into Peter the Rock. Because you all do remember, before Peter became Peter, he was Simon, right? Again, get into your word. I gave you some scriptures for you all to go back and reference. So, but let me point this out really quickly. And we know that God used Peter's many failures. So just like he uses Peter's many failures, guess what? God uses our failures as well. That's why I always tell people, just because you failed at something or some things, don't count yourself out. You are not down and out just because you failed at something, because God can use your failures to make you a better person. Also, keep in mind that Satan had asked for permission to sift Peter like wheat. You all remember that, right? So if you don't, go to Luke 22:31. So Jesus could have protected Peter and not allowed Satan to sift him, but Jesus had a higher goal. You see, Jesus was equipping Peter. Now, let me tell you what that brings to mind. Some of you all are going through some stuff. Some of you have been through some stuff. Some of you are going through some stuff. And some of y'all got some stuff coming up. And keep in mind that God allows Satan to sift us like wheat. And that's because he's trying to make us better people. I always tell people, and I have to remind folks, you cannot have a testimony, come on now, without first being tested. That's where you get the testimony from, because you've been tested, and now you can talk about how God stepped in and made a way out of no way and fixed whatever that thing was, because you have a testimony. And so don't think that what Peter went through just crept up on him and God was not aware. God was very much so aware of what was going on, because he gave Satan permission to sift him. And he already knew what Peter was going to say. So again, that didn't come as a surprise to God either. So having said, having shared that backstory, here is how we can deal with rejection and or denial, depending on which word you want to look at or use rather. So I have 5 points and a takeaway. I'm gonna let you be. Number 1, I said accept what happened. The worst thing that you can do is deny that you have been rejected. When rejection comes, excuse me, with rejection comes pain, but the longer you deny it, the harder it is. Again, the worst thing that we can do is deny the fact that we have been rejected from something, or we are being denied something. Admit it to yourself. And I think once you admit it to yourself, it becomes a whole lot easier to deal with. But as long as you try to pretend that it didn't happen, honey, all you're doing is making life worse for yourself. Number 2, understand that rejection is a part of life. It really is. So we have to understand that some things just weren't meant to be. If you go through life and you're not being rejected from something, then you aren't living at all, nor are you taking any chances. See, people that don't take chances, they don't get rejected. Why? Because they live in their own little bubble over here, so they don't have to worry about stepping out and putting themselves out there to be rejected and or denied. But going back to what I said in the beginning, that rejection is a part of life. Like I said, if you sit here and you tell me, well, Michelle, I've not been rejected from anything, honey, just keep on living. Keep right on living, because eventually you will be. Now, that's not me wishing bad on anybody, because I don't do that. But I'm just saying that you cannot make it through this life without being rejected from something. There was a job that you wanted, that you were rejected and or denied. There was a relationship that you wanted and you were rejected and or denied from that. There was that loan that you wanted and you were rejected or denied from getting that loan. There was whatever it is that you can think of, you were rejected and or denied. But can I just tell you, that was God's subtle way of saying, I know that's what you want, but that's not what I would have for you. Or you want those things or that thing, but that's not the right thing for you. So God steps in and causes you to be rejected from it so that he can keep you from making a mistake. He can essentially save you from hurting yourself. Come on, somebody. Don't y'all wish that God could step in sometimes and not let these relationships happen so you don't have to waste your time? But I digress. Number 3, show compassion towards yourself. So it's okay to want to hide in the closet after being rejected, but don't stay there long. You have to show yourself some compassion. This is why it burns me up when I hear people say things to themselves like, you are so stupid, you're so dumb, how could you fall for that? Well, you know what? Life happens. Life happens, but you've got to show yourself some compassion. You have to say, you know what? That's my fault, Lord. I believe that when they said this, or I believe that this was going to happen if I did that, or I believe that nothing would happen if I did that, and it did. So have some compassion with yourself. See, God forgives you, so why can't you forgive you? And it's a shame that God forgives us faster than we forgive ourselves. So don't beat yourself up over it. Acknowledge that you messed up, you made a mistake, or you fell for something or someone that you shouldn't have. Acknowledge it and then move on. Simple as that. Number 4, don't let rejection define who you are as a person. So when rejection pays us a visit, we tend to ask the question, what's wrong with me? Why is this happening to me? Does God not love me anymore? We all have asked those things. So your rejection is more about others and less about you. So keep being your authentic self. And, you know, I have to admit that things in life have happened, and I had to ask the question, Lord, why is this happening to me? Why am I dealing with this? But as Les Brown said, when you say things like that and you talk to your friends or whoever you talk to and you say, well, why is this happening to me? What did he say? He said 80% of the people are glad it's happening to you and not them. No, he said 20% of the people don't care. I'm sorry, 80% of the people don't care. 20% are glad that it's you and not them. So when things happen to you, don't be so quick to say, well, Lord, why is this happening to me? You know, have you forgotten me? Have you forsaken me? He hasn't, because the Bible tells us that God will never leave us nor forsake us. Look at it in terms of God is trying to teach you something. He's trying to teach us something. And that's why he allowed you to go through whatever that thing is that you're going through. Because just like y'all, excuse me, this makeup's making my nose itch. Just like right now, somebody under the sound of my voice excuse me, is going through something. And you say, Lord, I've been dealing with this for the last couple of months, the last 6 months, the last year, the last 2 years, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, whatever the case may be. And you say to yourself, well, Lord, how much longer am I going to have to go through this? How much more am I going to have to deal with? It's getting to be too much, Lord. I just cannot do it. Let me say this. God never puts more on you than he knows that you can bear. So if God is still allowing you to go through whatever you're going through, it's probably for a number of reasons. I'm just off the top of my head. It's probably because you have not completely learned the lesson that he was trying to teach you. It's because you murmur too much about woe is me, instead of just saying, Lord, I'm thankful for being in the place that I'm in right now. Or asking God to show you what it is that he wants you to see or learn from that, whatever that thing is that you're doing. Or it could just be that you're not quite ready for him to take you to the level that you want to go to. So whenever things happen to you, just know that your rejection does not define who you are as a person. I always like to remind people that what you did is not who you are. Okay, you made a mistake, but you are not the mistake that you made. You just made a bad decision. But that doesn't make you a bad person. Not at all. You just made a bad decision. And number 5, grow from your experience. So rejection hurts, but dwelling on what happened doesn't do you any good. Instead of looking at the negative, look at the positive side to things. What did you learn from the rejection? And how can you do things better? I've always been of the belief that when things happen in life, you have got to take the opportunity to learn from it. If that relationship, God say that 3 times fast, didn't work out, instead of being so quick to point the finger at, well, he did this and she did that. No, sit back and look at the big picture. Look at what they did, but then look at what you did, because that relationship didn't work out just because of what they did. You played a part in it too. Now, you may not want to admit it, but you played a part. Okay? So keep in mind that we all play a part in situations. So what that means is you've got to look at the part that you played in that thing. And what did I talk about? I'm sorry. And you have to grow from that experience. So if you know that being in a relationship and being gullible gets you nowhere, then you need to learn from that experience and make sure you don't do it in the next relationship. Don't be so quick to give your heart to whoever you're dating. Don't be so quick to go in your wallet for whoever you're dating. You understand what I'm saying? So you've got to make sure that you grow from your experience. Because here's the thing. If you go through something and you didn't grow through it, then that was just a waste of time. Because you're going to, that same issue is going to come up again and again and again until you've learned the lesson and you've grown through whatever that thing is. Here's your takeaway. The pain of rejection is real, and it can strip you of your confidence and self-worth. However, I need you to remember that the pain of rejection will pass in time, and you will be a much better person. That's what I want to leave you with. Whatever rejection that you're dealing with, just know it did not come to stay. It has come to pass. And once you get through that, you're going to be a much better person than you were when you started that journey. Okay, so always look at it like that. Listen, you guys, that's my time. I want to say thank you so much for giving me just a little bit of your time to speak life into you, to encourage you, to let you know that you can deal with rejection. Rejection is not the end of the world. It may feel like it, but it really isn't the end of the world. So if you're new to watching my videos, I want to say welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. I do car conversations every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. So make sure you come back on Wednesday for another topic. If this is not your first rodeo, I want to say welcome back. Y'all know I miss you and I don't get a chance to see you. Listen, go out there, enjoy the rest of your Monday. Have an amazing week on purpose. And tell yourself it's going to be amazing no matter what. Not just say it, I want you to believe it, okay? Say it and then truly believe that it is going to be an amazing week on purpose. I am praying that God is going to open up doors and windows and pour you out blessings that you may not have room enough to receive them all. And that he will answer your prayers, because some of you all have been praying to God for a long time about something. And I'm praying right now that God will say, okay, it's time. They are ready. It is time. So that is my prayer for each and every one of you. Listen, y'all know the drill. You know the spiel. I love you to the moon and back, and there's nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing that you can do about it. Go out there, enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe no matter where you go or what you do. Please be safe, because I want to see you back here on Wednesday for another motivational topic. Until then, take care.